Scottish football is boiling over. A St Mirren star nearly landed a fortune. The Rangers takeover is heating up with a £73 million shakeup. And Ange Postecoglou could make a stunning return to Celtic. Barry Ferguson's Ibrox dream crashed, and Celtic may lose a key talent in a surprise twist. Subscribe now. If you blink in Scottish football, you miss everything. Right then, strap yourself in. Things are starting to bubble away nicely over in Paisley. St Mirren almost waved goodbye to Jonah Ayunga in January, as the Kenyan forward came this close to securing what's been described as a life-changing move abroad. Asia was calling, with a few clubs fluttering their checkbooks, and manager Stephen Robinson admitted he wouldn't have stood in Ayunga's way if the deal had gone through. But as it happens, nothing stuck. No private jets, no golden handshakes, and no beach selfies just yet. Ayunga's still rocking up at the SMSA, boots laced and ready to grab. In the meantime, he's not exactly been twiddling his thumbs. He's been flying the Kenyan flag, playing in their historic homecoming match after a major stadium. Refurb ahead of the 2027 African Cup of Nations. That's proper goosebump stuff. 60,000 fans in the stands, and Jonah right in the thick of it. Back in Scotland, he's knuckled down, sharpened up his fitness, and impressed the gaffer enough to earn a fresh contract offer. According to Robbo, Ayunga's now looking the part again and proving why he's one of the better strikers at this level. But that's not all. The Buddies are also looking to keep hold of Roland Edow, currently on loan from Shrewsbury Town. He's played 30 matches, bagged a few goals, and clearly caught Robbo's eye. So much so, the manager says he'd have signed the lad permanently from day one, even when he wasn't a nailed-on starter. Talks are underway with his agent, so we'll see if that one lands. Elsewhere, St Mirren have already made contract offers to Richard Taylor, Kaelin Boydmans, Mikael Mandrin, and Toyosi Olusanya, although not everyone's keen to stay. And as for the ones who said, not right now, the club's moved on. No hard feelings. Well, maybe just a little. Should a Scottish Premiership club like St Mirren ever try to stand in the way of a player chasing life-changing money abroad, or should loyalty still mean something in football today? Right, here we go. Over-noising in Govan as change looms large over Ibrox. After years of financial head-scratching and transfer windows that felt more like car boot sales and smart squad building, Rangers seem to be on the cusp of something much bigger. Enter stage left. Andrew Kavanagh and the 49ers Enterprises. Yes, those 49ers, the same American outfit that helped tidy up the books and rake in over £73 million in player trading profit at Leeds United. Now, they're packing their calculator and ambition and eyeing up the keys to Ibrox. Let's be honest, it's not come a moment too soon. Last year's exits of John Bennett and James Bisgrove were the cherry on a rather messy financial cake. And the recent 2-0 home loss to Hibs only piled on the pressure. The Light Blues are 13 points adrift of Celtic, and there's a growing sense that things have stagnated both on and off the pitch. But with Patrick Marathi potentially stepping in to oversee operations, there's talk of heavy investment in the squad, and, more importantly, a proper player trading model. Remember how Kent and Morelos danced out the back door without the club seeing a single penny? That sort of thing might finally be a relic of the past. Players like Hamza Igamain and Nico Raskin could soon be at the heart of a much savvier Ibrox strategy. Meanwhile, veteran skipper James Tavernier, who will be entering the final year of his contract come summer, may find himself politely shown the exit. No sentimentality in modern football, especially when there's a spreadsheet involved. Of course, all this depends on the 49ers crossing the T's and dotting the I's. But if their track record at Leeds is anything to go by, they're not coming just to enjoy the hospitality. If the 49ers do take over Rangers, should they show Tavernier the door and start fresh? Or does the captain deserve the chance to lift silverware under the new regime? Well, look who's popped back up in the rumor mill. Ange Postecoglou, the Greek Aussie who turned Celtic from a post-COVID shambles into a treble-winning, high-octane football machine, is now being tipped for a sensational return to Parkhead. Yep, you heard that right. Big Ange, who swapped rain-soaked Glasgow touchline for the bright lights and brutally impatient boardrooms of North London, might just find his way back to paradise one. Now, let's not forget, this is the man who walked into a club still licking its wounds after missing that historic 10 in a row, and proceeded to build a side that played with swagger, speed, and more pressing than a laundrette on a Saturday morning. He didn't just steady the ship, he turbocharged it, and that didn't go unnoticed. Spurs came calling, Ange answered, and Brendan Rodgers quietly crept back through the revolving door. But now, with Postecoglou under a bit of heat at Tottenham, Greek legend Giorgos Karagounis has thrown a little olive oil on the fire, saying he reckons Ange will return to Celtic someday. And why not? Stranger things have happened. Rodgers came back. Hoda did a loop around too. Glasgow's got a funny way of pulling people back in, doesn't it? Karagounis also dropped a wee bombshell of his own, saying both Celtic and Rangers would hold their own just fine in the Premier League. Big clubs, massive fan bases, European pedigree, and let's be honest, the passion alone would cause absolute carnage down south. But back to Ange, sure, he's still got a shot at glory with Spurs in the Europa League. And Brendan's in the Parkhead hot seat right now, trying to convince the board to open their wallets this summer. Still, the idea of Ange returning feels a bit like a rom-com plot, dramatic breakup, new flame, but maybe, just maybe, there's unfinished business with the ex. If Ange Postecoglou did return to Celtic, would the fans welcome him back with open arms, or should loyalty matter more when a manager walks away after success? Ooh, right then, buckle up. This one's a proper soap opera in royal blue. Barry Ferguson, Hall of Fame legend, midfield general of old, and now, well, the latest name to be quietly shuffled out of the next Rangers manager conversation. He might have stepped in as interim boss with his chest out and chin up, but after a run that's left fans wincing behind their scarves, it looks like Barry's second audition for the dream job has ended the same way as the first, with the door politely closed. Let's not sugarcoat it. His managerial CV wasn't exactly sparkling to begin with. What did get him through the door was his name, his history, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, a club legend could reignite the spirit of Ibrox. But as it turns out, love for the badge doesn't magically turn journeymen and youth prospects into a title-challenging squad. Shame that. With domestic hopes long gone and the Europa League looking more like a free hit than a real opportunity, Ferguson had one job: stop the rot, give Celtic a fright, and restore some sense of identity. Instead, a dismal loss to Motherwell, another limp showing against Hibs, and a performance against Dundee that had more chaos than confidence. He said all the right things about standards, effort, playing for the badge, but tactically, let's just say it wasn't exactly the stuff of clipboard dreams. Same old setup, same old mistakes. Watching wingers run into traffic, fullbacks barely getting involved, and midfielders looking more lost than a tourist in Sauchi Hall Street. The worst bit? Barry admitted he didn't see it coming, despite his team leaking goals like a broken tap for weeks. When your own tactics look like a slightly watered-down version of what already wasn't working under Philippe Clement, well, that's a problem. Now, with the 49ers involved and a sporting director soon to arrive, they've got a big decision to make. But if there was any doubt about Ferguson getting the permanent gig, it's gone now, as quickly as a 2-goal lead at Ibrox. Should Rangers stop handing out big jobs to former players based on past glories, or does the club need someone who truly understands the badge, even if the tactics come second? Ah, the joys of squad rotation, where one man's fringe is another man's fresh start. Celtic may be marching towards yet another Scottish Premiership title, but the mood around Glasgow's East End isn't all champagne and confetti just yet. Brendan Rodgers has already got his eyes on the summer rebuild, and after a shock 1-0 loss to St Johnstone, courtesy of a proper party pooper from Daniel's Balladist, he made it crystal clear complacency won't be tolerated. So while the calculators are out and fans are eyeing that potential title party against Kilmarnock, behind the scenes there's plenty happening, and Luis Palma's name is floating right to the top of the maybe not list. Now, let's not pretend Palma didn't offer a bit of sparkle when he first arrived. 10 goals and 10 assists across 48 appearances is no joke. And at £16,000 per week, he's not exactly breaking the wage bank either. But as Rodgers' system evolved, Palma's role went from playmaker to puzzling fit. Whatever magic he showed early on, It's fizzled out faster than a wet sparkler on Hogmanay. He's now out on loan at Olympiacos, where the numbers aren't setting the world alight. 1 goal and 1 assist in 10 games, but apparently he's still catching a few glances. Dynamo Kyiv have now been offered the chance to take him, and while it's a bit of a surprise turn, it might just be the escape route both Palma and the boys were looking for. Feels like one of those relationships where you both quietly agree it's time to move on and wish each other well at the airport. Meanwhile, Rodgers is sniffing around new targets like Augsburg's Elvis Rexbekai, showing that the recruitment wheel is already turning. Incoming talent means outgoing space, and Palma could just be the first domino to fall. Should Celtic be quicker to cut ties with flair players who don't fit Rodgers' system, or are they giving up too easily on talents like Palma, who just need the right run of games? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Scottish football, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.